We're all new and we're all learning, and we all need somebody to turn to ask the questions. Because I know whether it's good or bad, I have a game plan every day. It's completely changed my life, my stress levels. There's stress, and then there's unnecessary stress. Not knowing your books and your business is an unnecessary stress. It's completely preventable. I will walk you through the entire process on how to manage and understand your business very effectively.
200 episodes in, and this one is going to be special. Behind the scenes at Level Up and Live, we've been listening, really listening to our business owners, leaders, and entrepreneurs in our community. The struggles, the pressure, the isolation, the desire for more, not just in business, but also life. And what we've built in Level Up and Live Level 2 isn't just another group. It's a room where real transformation is happening, where leaders are being sharpened, stretched, and called higher. Today, I've got a very special guest, the one, the only, Josh Webb. He's not only a member, but a coach leading our Level 2 mastermind. He's living this out in his own business, Webb Custom Apparel, and helping other business owners do the same. Josh, I'm fired up for this conversation. Let's get into it, brother.
Sean, thanks for having me. Very honored to be on the 200th episode. So I'm ready. Let's get it.
Absolutely. Now, Josh, from your perspective, what are business owners really struggling with right now that most people don't see?
We sat down, we started going around meeting with a lot of business owners and really trying to understand what their pain points were. And a lot of them were not making informed decisions based off of their numbers. They were going based strictly off of feel and just they understand a trade and they think they're going to grow a business, but they're not doing it financially. They're not using their finances to make those informed decisions. And that's a big pain point for people. And we decided to dive into it and start teaching.
Why do you think so many entrepreneurs and business owners feel stuck or isolated and they don't reach out for help? They don't lean in and get curious and ask questions, even when their business is either growing or not growing.
So a business is something that meets a need. And a lot of these guys, a lot of these business owners, they found a trade that they liked. They saw a need. They created a business for it. They started growing. They didn't know all the aspects of running a business. They understood a trade, but they didn't necessarily know a business. So as they started building, they were building on a foundation that had a lot of cracks in it. And as they continued to build, those cracks got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they didn't understand why. So they get overwhelmed, they get overrun. They don't know who to reach out to, who to talk to. They think every other business owner's got it together. But we all share a common theme, and that's we're all new and we're all learning, and we all need somebody to turn to ask the questions. They just don't know where to go. They don't know which direction to run.
Yeah, from your experience, somebody listening to this, entrepreneur, business owner in our current community, or maybe somebody that's never even met you, what makes you qualified to really dive deep and lead a class like Level Up and Level 2 in your own personal journey?
I have been there. I've been where those business owners are at, and it's a very scary, unsettling feeling, especially when something negative happens in your business and you can't explain why. I spent 12 years with HEB. It's a South Texas store, 120,000, 130,000 employees. I did the finances, the pricing analytics for the meat and seafood side. We did $4 billion a year in revenue. Prior to that, I ran meat markets. I ran shops, had to make money. I used labor and all my data, all the information that HEB gave me to make informed decisions to be the best I could be within my business. Eventually, I left HEB and went to work for my parents, who have run a business for 25 years. I was exactly where those business owners are at that don't know where they're at today. I walked into a business that had no information, no data, was kind of running by the seat of their pants and just chasing revenue. And it's a very scary feeling. I didn't know whether to scale, whether to cut back, whether to invest, whether to make changes or not. I didn't know what to do because I had no information. My dad understood a trade. He saw a need and started fulfilling it. And as long as he had cash in the bank, he thought he was good. But the numbers told a completely different story. So I started diving deep. I got a business coach. I got a mentor, and really dove into my numbers and business and started understanding it. And when I went through that process, I felt a strong conviction to share because I know there's a lot of people out there just like me.
Now, for somebody listening to this, a business owner leader that is still going to continue to do the same thing over and expect different results in their business and in their personal life, we both know that there's a cost to that and it's super expensive. And I'm curious with your thoughts, what's that cost of trying to figure all of this out on your own for the business owner
Oh,
listening to this?
man, where I was not only affecting my business, it was affecting my sleep, my personal life, my marriage, my relationship with my children, my training. It was affecting everything. I was laying in bed at night, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, stressed out because I didn't know anything about my business. I knew we were getting business in, but we didn't have money. We couldn't pay bills. We barely made payroll. I didn't know. So my wife and I worked diligently with our business coach and said, what can we do in place to stop guessing and start knowing? And so we really dove into the books. We also created a ton of systems based off that books that let me know 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 weeks in advance where I'm going to be and really understand my business. So now I sleep at night because I know whether it's good or bad, I have a game plan every day. It's completely changed my life, my stress levels. There's stress and then there's unnecessary stress. Not knowing your books and your business is an unnecessary stress. It's completely preventable.
Now, transitioning into, I hear what you're saying. I completely need that in my life. And for the business owner and leader that's listening to this and they know that's me, that I'm that guy, what actually tap into a little bit, take us through what actually happens inside level 2 that makes it different from anything else out there in our community.
Okay, so for level 2, I'm taking business owners and treating them as if they know absolutely nothing. They're brand new business owners, whether they have purchased QuickBooks or some kind of financial tracking system or not. We're treating them as if they know absolutely nothing and we're starting from ground zero. And I am breaking down what a business is, how to make money, how to price appropriately, and how to have correct and proper margins to make money, understanding all the aspects of business as far as expenses go, and then how to be profitable at the end of it, and then what to do with that money and how to see where all of that money goes. So I'm teaching you business 101. I'm giving you a 4-year degree in 12 weeks. And it's just a basic rundown, what you need to know to be extremely dangerous in your business.
Walk us through the structure. So for somebody listening to this that's never had been a part of a class like this or a structure like this or a coach or mentor, what are members experiencing week to week? Walk us through that structure and what that looks like.
So a lot of the guys are coming in. Some of them have general knowledge. Some of them have zero knowledge at all. They're coming in, and I'm breaking it down as if we're starting at kindergarten level, and we're talking about the very, very, very basics of business, and then we're going into great detail on our finances, what our books like, and we're learning those finances so well that we're able to make extremely informed decisions on our businesses. If they don't have those in place, I'm helping them. I'm working with them to get all of those proper systems in place in order to make informed decisions. So whether you have it or not, whether you've got it all together, you can be very, very, very basic, know nothing, brand new business owner. I will walk you through the entire process on how to manage and understand your business very effectively.
Now, with these business owners, I know them personally. They're anywhere from 6 digits, making 6 digits a year in gross revenue. And some of these are 18 to 24 months in. So they've really scaled really quickly, all the way up into 7 digits in with these individuals. And the fact, what I'm hearing you say is some of them don't know their numbers. And at the end of the day, we're human beings and that's okay, but you need to be aware of it. And that's what you take them through this class and create the systems, the accountability and the structure. Because when we all, as business owners, when we get in business, whether you're a landscaper, plumber, HVAC company, real estate agent, lawyer, and you're really good at what you do, and the last thing you look at is the things that are important, right? That are going to be the life, the blood of your business, which is the cash flow and understanding the P&L and the balance sheet. So that's so important in creating that. What I'm also hearing you say is this: there's also the accountability. How important is that accountability with these individuals? And have you experienced any challenges or pushback from some of the business owners that come into the group?
Yeah, so we're going week to week. We're meeting every week. We're also meeting outside of this. Anybody that has any questions or anything like that, I'm readily available to answer anything. I'm encouraging them to dig into their own data, their own information, their own books, and apply what I'm teaching them on a day-to-day basis. The ones that have bought into it, and there have been some that have even taken it further than just buying into it, they're creating their own Excel spreadsheets and their own tracking and own systems that are making them extremely effective. We're seeing good results. We're seeing people that are like the light bulb is clicking and they're making really informed decisions. They're able to scale their business. I've seen dramatic change in business owners in 6 weeks where they are confident and comfortable with their business enough to where their stress levels have completely vanished. So they actually have smiles on their faces now because they're like, I am profitable. I am making money. And the ones that aren't, they're moving. They're making moves extremely fast. They're getting bookkeepers. They're getting all their stuff in line. They're getting their P&L sheets corrected. We're identifying key problems that could be absolutely detrimental to a business. You can file for bankruptcy within a month. If you're not doing things financially smart, you can file for bankruptcy and go belly up extremely fast. And these guys are identifying key problems and they're able to educate their own bookkeepers and CPAs on mistakes that they've made.
Yeah. So I'm curious, man, without naming names, what would you say one or two of the biggest transformations you've seen in this short period of time in only 6 weeks? Anybody come to mind that you've seen from the members in level 2 so far?
So two different examples. I had one business owner approach me and we started digging into their books. The sales were there. The profit was there on the P&L sheet, but the cash flow statement showed a dramatic decline in cash. And at the current rate, they were snowballing cash flow negative. It was extremely bad. They were able to identify a problem that their CPA or their bookkeeper keyed in the wrong numbers and it made it look really bad. So when you have lines of credit out there from a bank and not a long-term loan, a line of credit, you have some banks require you to submit financials every quarter. If you submit financials that are wrong and you're showing cash flow negative, they can call your note at any minute. If you don't have the two, three, $400,000 on that line of credit to pay them right then and there, you're either selling assets or you're filing bankruptcy. They've been able to identify these problems based off the lessons that we're teaching and learning in class, and they were able to point that out to save them from trouble like that. Can it be corrected? Absolutely. But identifying it as soon as possible before it becomes detrimental is where these guys are at right now. They're able to read their own books, understand it, and not rely on somebody to tell them the health of their business and what direction they need to run. So now they're not only trusting, but they're trusting and verifying.
What would you say the separator is from an individual? I'm thinking about the business owners and leaders that are going to be listening to this, and they're the ones that's like, man, that's me. I need to lean in. What really separates the business owners that you're working with, even yourself included, from the ones that lean in, they get curious, they show up week after week, they make this a priority, and the ones that are seeing the biggest transformations versus the ones that don't? What's the friction and what's the gap? What's the disconnect? And how can we help our listeners, our business owners and entrepreneurs not fall into that trap?
So business can be intimidating. And a lot of people avoid the hard truth. They don't want to hear it. They're scared of their books because they don't understand how to read them. They overthink it, they overcomplicate it. They wake up in the morning, they look at their bank account and they're like, I have money or I don't have money. And then they work harder. If they have money, then they're like, okay, I'm good. And it's just a guessing game. And it creates severe stress and anxiety. These guys that have bought in is because they want to know. They don't want to guess. They've completely bought in. The sense of relief, when you hit week 7, week 8, like we did this morning, the sense of relief and the light bulb that turns on in their head, that every one of them had a smile on their face. They're like, I feel good about where I'm at. It's no longer a guessing game. We're going to put 4 systems in place this week for these guys to be able to trace everything in their business. So not only do they know where they're at, where they've been, but they know where they're going. So the confidence level and the ability to scale, grow your business, and lead with confidence is exponential from week 1 to week 8. And we still have 4 weeks to go. So the ones that are buying in are making a massive difference in their businesses and their personal lives.
I love that. And what's your tagline to everything that you say if they don't do something?
The
business will die.
every bit of this, every bit of this ties together, and not knowing is throwing darts in the dark. It's all it is. And I tell these guys, I'm like, all of this ties together. You miss a step, we're gonna, we have potential to go out of business tomorrow. And we can alleviate all of that. We can really dial in and know exactly where we're at and sleep with peace at night.
And if you're listening to this and you're a business owner or leader, entrepreneur, and you're like, hey, what do I need to do? What are those next steps? I would encourage you to reach out. You can reach out to Level Up and Live. You can send us an email. You can send us a direct message. Get a hold of Josh Webb, get a hold of myself or Level Up and Live, and we will point you in that right direction in next steps. Whether we can help you or not, we can point you in the right direction. Now, Josh, I'm curious, on the flip side of that, you're serving and impacting at a very high level. There's obviously conviction in your voice. You love what you do and you're really good at it. And you're in your lane right now. You're in your zone of genius. I'm curious with you, what's been the most rewarding part for you as a lead coach watching this unfold in these last 7 weeks?
Man, I've always had a servant's heart. I come from a family of first responders. I was a 5th generation firefighter before I went to college. Through college, I worked at HEB doing retail. I've always been in customer service. I've always been about people, putting people first, being a servant, having a servant's heart. And these are good people. These are good people coming to these classrooms, to the Level Up and Live, showing up, and they all have employees that rely on them. Employees that have families and that have kids, and they have kids and wives and husbands. And as a business owner, having the level of stress of not knowing where your business is and taking that home and carrying that burden 24/7, it weighs heavy on their heart. It's not good for them at home, at business, everything. It's just a really bad, vicious circle. And by helping these people at least alleviate that level of stress, it's all I really want to do is just do whatever I can to help them have a better quality of life. These are really good people, and they have an opportunity here to better themselves, live a better life. And if I can help in any way, shape, or form, even if it's just a little bit, I'm here to do it.
And you're doing that, man. And you're doing it. And I've seen you lean in. I've always said this: when individuals take one step, as leaders, we take 2 steps. And I think we can all agree to that. Even individuals listening to this, whether it's a customer, employee, team member, or spouses, us as leaders, if somebody's taking one step and they're leaning in, they're getting curious and they're asking questions and they're putting their pride and ego to the side, we want to go to battle for those people.
Absolutely.
And I see you doing that. And I see you, and that's fulfillment. And I believe that's why we're put on this earth to do, is to really build that bridge and that ladder for individuals that may be struggling in that area of their business, which is a priority, which is a vital to avoid that failure and not be a statistic that so many business owners are because of cash flow problems. So how, from what you've learned so far and what you've seen from 30,000 feet, how does this impact multiplying? Because that's what we're about at Level Up and Live. It's not just about 1 or 2 people, but we're really multiplying that impact beyond just the individual into their teams, families, and communities. I'm curious how this impact is multiplying beyond that from your perspective.
So, for myself, for example, someone did it for me. I got a business coach. I dove into my business. I learned it. It helped me. And if I can share it with as many people as possible and they can share it with as many people as possible, I feel like we can just keep passing it on, keep pushing forward, and really impact a lot of people's lives and change not just their business life, but their home life as well. And if one person that I'm working with can do it for 2 or 3 other people, we're making changes.
That's beautiful, man. Well, Josh, listen, I really appreciate you leading the way, and you're an inspiration to myself. You're an inspiration to all of our leaders within our community, and you're also embodying everything that you're talking about. I've witnessed this in the last 12 months, and you don't just talk about it, but you actually live it out in your own business, which is super aspiring. And then also on the flip side of that, you're pouring into other people, because how selfish would it be for us as leaders to retain that? So you're really helping bridge that gap. And I love how Ed Mallett shares this all the time on his podcast. And I like to multiply that impact by saying we're best equipped to help the people we once were. And you've experienced this, you've felt this, and you're able to help the people where you once were. And man, that is leadership, that is impact, and that is servanthood. So if you're listening to this right now and you feel stuck, you feel isolated, or like you are capable of more than what you're doing right now, but you don't have the right environment or the people around you, which is so important, this is your invitation. We meet every single Friday. We're building something real here at Level Up and Live. Come be our guest. Come get in the room. Come experience it for yourself. Josh, grateful for you, brother. Let's keep leveling up.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate the opportunity as well.
Absolutely.